26.
They probably heard all of that, didn't they?
I don't care. Good morning, everybody, on this January the 11th at 8 o'clock a.m. in Alabama. How is everybody doing?
So, I got to know something.
What?
How many of y'all got snow yesterday?
Oh, line across my head?
I think it's a shadow.
Oh, it's a hair.
It's a shadow.
I can't stand that. This is my camera. How many got snow yesterday?
How many got snow yesterday?
Let's tell us how many of you got snow today. I'm purposely wearing this shirt, and I will tell you why in a minute after we figure out who all got snow yesterday. Do y'all think we got snow? Did y'all see a live of me on the sled?
I had somebody from Mississippi. I think it was Tupelo. That was right? Mississippi? I can't remember where it was. It was Mississippi, though. And they sent me this picture. Look at there.
I hate to say it. I'm not a jealous person at all.
I think that was Tupelo.
I'm not a jealous person, but I was jealous yesterday when I saw people that had snow and we didn't. We had a mud hole.
It was nasty. Still nasty.
We did not get any snow. I did not wear this outside to feed. I wore it for the live because I said if we can't get snow, and I got to wear thermals outside to feed, and then come inside and burn up. As soon as you walk inside, you're like, I got to get this off. I
got 3 layers on now.
Well, I went and fed, and I had my thermals on, had all my heavy clothes on, and I took it off, and I put this shirt on, and I said to myself, bring on the spring. If it's not going to snow, then it might as well just go ahead and get the winter over with.
Get it over with.
Get it over with.
Well, we didn't get snow. Probably 30 minutes north of us.
Jason,
got snow.
It wasn't that far.
20 minutes.
Columbiana.
They got snow.
They got snow enough to build a gigantic snowman.
So 20 minutes north of us.
James Spann posted this. I don't know. Catherine, excuse me. Catherine sent me this first thing this morning. It is a chance of another deep freeze. Now, it doesn't say anything about snow. Deep south, January 20th through 25th time frame. Very cold January is what we're going to remember this by. I don't want to remember it as cold. I want to remember it as the January that I built the biggest snowman I ever have. And right now, that's not going to happen.
Good luck. We definitely could build a mud man. 100% could build a mud man.
So the lady and the little girls that are getting Paris's, I'm going to say babies because we hope there's more than one. But, we'll be happy with whatever.
Right.
Her little girls, of course, they were hoping for snow, and they live just about 45 minutes to an hour from us. She sent me a text first thing yesterday morning. Did y'all get snow? And I said, no. And she said, well, we got ice. And her little girls built an ice man. And I think it's incredibly cute, but that's not snow. That's ice.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm glad we didn't get the ice, but they made good of a situation when they didn't have anything to make. And she suggested that I use the snow sled and go down the hill in the mud. She said it would make a great video. And I just gave her a ha-ha and went on pouting because we didn't get any snow.
That would have made a great video.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah. But it ain't going to happen until we get snow. I got it stored away. Got to tell y'all something. So midnight that night before, I woke up. My mama's a night owl. I woke up at 12:07. I just knew it was snowing. I got out of the bed. I went to the front door. I looked outside. It was sleeting. So I had high expectations of the snow. And at that time, I pulled up the weather app, which I've done so many times that day. So here's what the weather app said at 12 o'clock that night. Cloudy skies early, followed by a mixture of light rain and snow overnight. Low 31. Winds light and variable. Chance of precipitation 100%. Snow accumulating 3 to 5 inches. That was at midnight.
You didn't have the
Jason,
settings for Kentucky.
I got a
did you?
picture of it.
Okay.
I have proof. It's right here. So that really got my hopes up. I sent it to my mama and she said, it's been really cold. And she had some more things that she had bought for snow. And she was going to leave them at her front door for us to build a snowman. She bought a snowman kit.
I've never heard of a snowman kit.
I didn't go get it because we didn't have any snow.
Right.
But she's got a box of stuff sitting at her front door that's intended for snow. She said one of them is a blow-up thing. I don't know if you get inside this blow-up thing and you roll around in the snow. But she's got a whole box of stuff that she's had tucked away and didn't tell me until that night. But we didn't get any snow.
We didn't get any snow.
No.
We didn't get any snow. What's the James Spann always says, especially for winter stuff, is that forecast models, the models that they show you, all the pretty colors and stuff, the maps and stuff, are always wrong.
This was not a model, Jason.
But they are a tool. They are a tool, but they're always wrong.
This was a forecast, and it was at the very moment.
And that's probably that's not done by a human. That's got to be done by computers and AI.
I don't care who it was done by. It was wrong.
It was wrong now.
It was wrong.
Definitely wrong.
It's very disappointing, but that's okay. We will, at some point in our life ahead, we will have snow. And if we don't, I'm going to go somewhere where it snows. I just don't know how I'm going to get there yet.
I don't know how you're going to get there either.
I've been so worried that we're going to have snow chains and such as that. But I do know that they said that the roads north of Jemison, which is where Petals from the Past is, I mean, it's in our same county, were impassable.
Yeah, that's the thing I worry about. You know, how you drive around in it, especially us Southerners. We have zero experience with it.
What's wrong with her?
She wants
to go out?
No, she wants over here.
Holly. She went downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the interstates would have been passable, though. I mean, if I can get to the interstate, I can get to snow. That's the way I feel about it.
I don't know. I saw pictures of the interstate earlier, and they look terrible.
Well, looks can be deceiving because people got to get to where they got to get to.
They look terrible. But
I really want it to snow here, not me go somewhere,
right,
and have to play in the snow. I want it at my own house.
Well, typically when we get snow here, and we get like the 2-3 inch snow, which is extremely rare.
In 1993.
No, we had it at Cobb.
We did.
We had back-to-back years there.
The biggest snow I ever remember, though, was in 93.
That 93 was big, and it was unexpected. And then that one year, see, she got a baby. That one year, at our old farm,
that was pretty big.
Pretty big snow. But even those big snows come evening time.
So you
3
wake up
4 o'clock. They're pretty much starting to melt away.
But at this point, I would get up at midnight or in the middle of the night, as long as I had some lights, I could shine the headlights just to get in at one time. And we are a little bit further north than what we were previously.
Right.
So our chances have increased.
Our chances have increased.
Even though it's just a little bit north.
But I do like our
terrain
snow because it's gone. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about shoveling or anything like that. It's a few hours we get to enjoy it, and it's gone, and then it's mud.
Yeah. Well,
then it's mud, a muddy mess.
Well, I hope everybody that got a little snow that doesn't normally get it enjoyed it, because it won't last. It won't last, and that's the good part.
13.5 inches in Missouri.
Wowzers!
Good gracious. I can't even imagine.
I don't know what would happen. I mean, even this 3 to 5 inches that I saw at midnight that night, I thought to myself, if we get 3 to 5 inches, people are gonna not know what to do.
They wouldn't know what to do.
I mean,
They'd have a clue.
it wouldn't be a good thing.
Yeah, they wouldn't know what to do.
Is she tearing? Oh, she got a ball. Not
Mhm,
a,
a baby.
okay.
Well, that's
You
what she
call
calls
it a baby,
Yeah,
but
that's what she knows them as. So
we're talking about Holly, y'all.
she will take. So if she's bored, which is a lot, y'all know she's a Australian Shepherd Border Collie mix, so they're pretty much on 24/7.
Yeah.
So if I'm busy, so if I'm editing in or if I'm doing
Editing in.
this or anything like that, if I'm really busy, she'll take that ball and come upstairs and drop it down the stairs. And it'll go all the way down and she'll run and go get it, bring it back up the stairs
And drop it again.
and drop it again.
Y'all, it's really funny. It's really comical. I wish we could catch it on video, but as soon as she sees us watching her,
yeah, she
done.
She
stops. Right now, she's got it rolling across the floor.
Another thing she'll do, she takes it and she throws it up.
And lets it bounce.
Lets it bounce and she catches it. Throws it up, lets it bounce and she catches it. So
she's asleep now. So let's let her be. Let a sleeping dog lie. Isn't that what they say?
Oh yeah, she's not all the way.
She says that she needs to express some energy today because yesterday obviously it was nasty. We didn't get a lot done outside.
Yeah.
You got some things done inside, but I did get a hay bale put out for the cows. So I got the tractor, which fortunately had the hay spear on it already. I went and got the hay bale. You were trying to get your granddaddy's tractor prepared to work on it. I told you I got this. If you'll shut the gate and lock the cows up, then I will go get the hay bale and get it in there. And I did. I got it in there and I came back and I parked the tractor at the house. No, I didn't. I went and put the bucket on the tractor.
Yeah.
I took the hay spear off and I had plans to do some things, with the tractor. I came in, I fixed us some breakfast, and about that time, the rain started.
Yeah.
And Jason said, "It's raining again." And I said, "I just put the bucket on the tractor and I just planned to do some things. And now the tractor's still parked out front because I had no idea it was fixing to rain again." Yeah.
I saw somebody from, I think it was Camden, New York, 5 foot.
Oh goodness. See, I can't handle that.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
I just
5 foot. Yeah. Speaking of tractor, I did get started on Granddaddy's tractor. I got you to help me get the hood off, which was the big thing because it's heavy.
It is heavy. It's heavier this time than it was last time.
It's heavy. I mean, that thing is solid steel. I mean, it is heavy.
Did you feel that way? Maybe it was the position I was in.
Maybe so.
Last time I was like, "Oh, Jason, this is not heavy," and we put it over to the side. But this time I felt like, "Oh, Jason,
it's heavy.
This is heavy."
Yeah.
And we got it off with no breaking anything.
No breaking anything. You have to be careful because the radiator neck is right there, and you don't want to hit it or anything like that. So you'll be replacing the radiator on it. But yeah, it's heavy. We got it off, and then I looked, and then I started watching a video on how to convert everything over, convert it from 6 volts to 12 volts. And there's a video that so many of you guys have sent me. It's the father and daughter duo. I can't think of their names. Y'all know I'm terrible at names. And they got a step-by-step video on what to do. And so I was kind of worried about taking the wires off and not labeling them and all that. But according to their video, it comes with a new wiring harness and all the instructions are there. So,
so it should be fairly simple.
And you're rewiring it. It's different than it used to be. It's not going to be the same setup. And so, yeah, I took everything off and started taking everything off. And
you didn't label it.
Threw it in the garbage.
Let's hope that the new wiring harness is correct and it's labeled.
It will be.
Okay, good.
It will be. And they even show you in the video on which wire goes to where. So, yeah, it should be okay.
When is that coming?
I got it ordered. It's got to be one day this week coming up. Or Probably, I'm guessing probably Wednesday-ish.
Okay.
It should be here. It should be here. And I got the entire kit. I didn't get, they had like different levels of kits. And I got the deluxe kit because I thought I got the hood off. I got everything here.
You want to change it all?
Yeah. Because there's not that much difference in pricing from the
Oh,
levels, and I'm like,
well, so when you go to put it back
yeah,
together, will it be easy? Will it be quick?
I think so. Hooking the new wires and all up. And the only thing is I think the points and condenser that are in there now may be damaged. So I'm gonna have to replace it, and that's a little tricky.
Do you have to order that?
Yeah, I got it coming too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good.
I got it coming
I was
too.
going to say what's going to happen is you're going to get it converted, and then you're going to have to order something.
Yeah, I would love to convert it to electronic ignition, but that costs more than converting it to 12 volts.
So maybe down the line,
Maybe down the road, I will convert it to electronic
because
ignition.
it doesn't involve anything that you're doing now.
No,
It's a whole different thing.
it'd be just a whole
Okay.
different kit.
Well, one step at a time.
That's right.
One step at a time.
So, yeah, I feel pretty good about putting this now. Is it gonna crank and run? I don't know, but
it'll be converted to 12 volt.
it'll be converted to 12 volts, and the ignition system, or that part of the ignition system, will be all new.
Well, you do what you can do. If you got to involve Mr. Gary later, then you can do that. But you'll have everything done that you could possibly do.
Correct.
And speaking of everything we could possibly do, people are asking about the bus.
Yeah.
And Mr. Donnie has all the parts in for working on the motor, correct?
He has got the short block built.
So is he done?
No, he which is it's the short block. It's not the long block, so it's not the entire engine. Let's see here. I have the short block finish. I just need to get some time finished putting the intake together and the tins.
I don't know what that means, but he works a full-time job.
He works a full-time job.
It's dark when he gets off of work.
Yes.
And it's cold. So we're not staying on him because obviously this is in his spare time.
Mm-hmm.
We will get the Volkswagen going as soon as he gets it good.
Right.
But one thing we do want to do is replace all the fuel lines.
Yeah,
right?
we've replaced some, but I'm going to replace all of them.
And here's the reason why. So y'all, our beekeeper, Tanya, that had bees here before we started selling honey with Rachel and Roy. Tanya does it as a hobby beekeeper. Tanya could not possibly get out, a large volume of honey. So Tanya and our family, we still stay in contact and we're friends. There was I don't know if it was like a Volkswagen event. It was at Taney Hill, Alabama. And her and her husband have an old Volkswagen bus. Let me see if I can find it while I talk. And so they went to the event. It was on the way back. So they went to the event, and on the way back, they drove their bus, and they had something happen that was not at all good. Are y'all ready for this? Turn my volume down because we don't need to hear the.
They ain't gonna do it.
All right. So this is their bus on the way back. Do y'all see that? So they live right now. They're living in the same city we are. Probably a little over an hour drive.
Yeah.
For them. And they started smelling smoke. And they stopped the bus and they pulled over. And about that time, the bus went up in flames.
Yep.
Y'all, they lost the entire bus. There was no putting out that fire. That bus was gone. And it was all due to the fuel lines, is what they determined.
I don't know what the cause of it
That's
was.
what she told me.
Okay.
She said it was due to the fuel lines. She said they had just bought new tires and new brakes. She said a car passed us and we smelled gas and thought it was the car ahead. Then the guy behind us started flashing his lights. So we pulled over and the motor was on fire. We had replaced all the fuel lines and carburetor. We had just took it to the show at Tannehill.
So they have replaced all the fuel lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
So I don't know what the cause of it was.
it just it made her sick.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure everything's replaced that could potentially cause a fire. I mean, things happen. You don't ever know.
Right.
But theirs is
Yeah.
gone.
Gone.
It's and that was, when was that?
Oh goodness.
September.
Yeah.
September. So yeah, I just don't have any words for it. Just terrible.
Just glad nobody got hurt.
Yeah, glad nobody got hurt. And glad that the people behind them flashed their lights and saw the fire before. Because obviously they didn't know it. The engine's in the back, they're in the front of the bus. And all you could do is just smell smoke or depend on somebody else to see the fire.
Right. Definitely scary. Miss Ann Dale's on here.
Hey, morning, Miss Ann.
How you doing, Miss Ann? So somebody sent me an email this morning, and Miss Janet, and said that she ran across an Alabama tidbit that she did not know, and I personally didn't know either.
I knew it, and you know how I knew it?
How?
Our child has this information stored away, kind of like you do.
Yeah.
And she told me about it when she was researching Clanton, Alabama.
I had no idea, but Alabama is the first state to recognize Christmas. And that was in 1836. I did not know that.
I'm sorry I didn't share it with you.
Huh.
But I wouldn't have remembered the date anyway.
Yeah.
I just remembered that Alabama was the first state.
The first state. That was pretty cool. And Oklahoma was the last state.
Huh. How about that?
I think Oklahoma was in 1906.
Wow. Interesting information.
Interesting.
Yeah, very much so.
I had no idea. I thought that was pretty cool. I saw a lot of people asking about Caden. There's Miss Carrie Gibbs on here.
Hey, Carrie.
And Caden is still
recovering.
Healing.
Yeah, his leg is going to take some time. His foot, I should say.
Yeah.
And he's hanging in there. So his mama's driving him to school. They started back this past week. And I'm sure he loves his mama. So I shouldn't say I'm sure he doesn't like that. But I'm sure he wants to get to where he can drive himself. You know,
I'm sure he does.
Everybody wants to get there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Caden. Oh, man. I'll be glad when he's back.
You think you will.
Talking about the tractor, I do want to say that I want to thank everybody that reached out to me about where to buy parts from. That was very helpful, extremely helpful. I don't know how many emails I got and messages, but it was a ton. But yeah, thank y'all. And there's like three that everybody likes the most, it seems like, and that's J&D, Steiner, is that what it's called, and Just 8 Ends. But I talked to a guy that's I don't know how many he's done restored. He's restored many, and he pretty much told me what I had already thought, but I didn't know for sure. But the parts all come from the same place, and none of them are made in the United States anymore, which I figured that. And that, so what you want to do is just search and get the best price, because they're all pretty much come from the same supplier. And that, so when the wholesaler gets them or the stores get them, they mark them up because they got to make a profit. And that you may find one part cheaper at this one place and then another part cheaper at the other place. And that's what he does.
I gotcha. That makes sense.
He even sent me some pictures of his trap. He had like 5 or 6. And so, but yeah, I think I had another person say the same thing too. Yep.
Well, that just stinks that they're not made in the U.S. anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a 1930. I'm pretty sure Granddaddy's is a 39 or a 40. But I mean, I just don't. Probably not enough profit there, I would guess, for an American company to make those. You know what I mean?
Huh.
The demand.
Get,
You know what I mean?
block that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably not a lot of demand, and probably feel like people would not want to pay the price that it takes for American labor to get that part put on the shelf and just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to imagine that most people look at things as a price point and would buy the lesser of the most expensive. However, there are a lot of people out there that still want to buy American.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're one of them because we, believe in quality.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, you got something you wanted to say? Speaking of American made and quality. So y'all remember I went on the trip to Louisiana and I told y'all I was getting a button maker, and it was something that a pin maker.
Mm-hmm.
It was something Mary Carl had wanted, and I had researched, and they make some foreign made button makers. But in the reviews, it's a pull-in type mechanism. They might make 10 buttons or 10 pins and then they quit. It's just junk.
Right.
And I had told her, I said, Mary Carl, I said, I am not buying junk. What'll happen is we'll pay $100 for it and we'll get it and we'll make just a few and then it'll be just, in the trash.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that. So I said, let's just wait and see if I can't come across something that's made better. And we did. And I browsed Facebook Marketplace in the meantime, just looking. And lo and behold, an American-made button maker came up for sale on Marketplace. And this one that was offered was something I would never buy new. I told y'all that. It was over $1,000. And it was offered on Marketplace for a fraction of that. And I thought, of course, you got to weed through and make sure it's not a scam. And I did. The lady was in Louisiana, lived with her mother as the caretaker, and I asked her if I could call her. So I talked to her on the phone. That's one way to eliminate a scam.
Right.
You talk to them on the phone.
Right.
Otherwise, they tell you, I'm not available.
Right.
Or I'll deliver it to you.
Yeah.
So I talked to her on the phone, and we started working on a plan for me to get from Alabama to Louisiana, because I started thinking I could make stuff with this button maker too. You know, if it's quality and Mary Carl can do her thing with it, then I could do some things with it too. Well, she's wanting to make pins that are, she collects like birding pins, I should say.
Right.
What does one of the ones say? Protect our birds. And then pictures of birds and just different things, But this machine will do all sorts of things. I mean, you can make earrings with it. You can make magnets. You can make pins. You can make mirrors. I mean, possibilities are just endless. And the other machines wouldn't do all this. So it's called an American Button Maker. And it's a hunk of metal.
It's big.
It's a hunk of metal.
It's big. It's heavy.
It's heavy. It's quality. It's something that you would never have to replace. And it's got these dies in it, and they're circular, and then there's inner thing. It's totally neat how it works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I brought an example of something that I made, and this was just fooling around with. First, I'm going to show y'all what it started out like. We had some old stickers, and it's a sticker that we had printed out years ago. Found one, and I said, this will work for me to experiment with, because I don't have a color printer. I don't have a laser printer. I just to print multiples. So I got my sticker, got my handyman here to watch a video with me because I could not figure it out. It's very simple, but I couldn't figure out what to put where. So he did it just like that. And I've been sitting here staring at it for an hour. He was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to figure out how to make this work. So here's my parts, y'all. You got this thing right here, which is a ring, obviously. You got this part right here, which is what the image goes on top of.
Yeah.
You're going to use a piece of paper more than likely. You got this piece right here, which is a clear plastic film that goes over the top of it. And in this case, I'm just using stuff that came with it, a mirror. So my handy dandy husband put all this stuff together and pressed it for me in about 2 seconds. And this is what it came out like. Can y'all see that? I am amazed. And I had to share it with y'all because I can't believe that this right here can turn. Look how shiny it is. You see that sticker? It's not shiny, but after you press it and get everything done, it comes out like that. So it wouldn't matter, if your image was flat to begin with.
Yeah.
I read that after you press it and this goes on it, it makes it shiny.
Yeah.
So even if you use a flat, people think they got to use glossy paper,
Right?
But that's not the case. So it's amazing, and I have got my cart pulled up on my computer. I didn't place the order because I wanted to see what some of y'all thought about it. I want to make some of these things to offer to y'all.
Yeah.
And here's my thinking. I think that y'all would like magnets the best, but correct me if I'm wrong. So I like the size of this, which is a 3.5 inch.
Mm-hmm.
And without the mirror on the back, a magnet on the back. And here's what I'm thinking. Like I could do Moody and make a quantity of these. I could do Mildred. I could do Nugget. I mean, the list goes on. I could do unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be kind of like a collector thing.
Mm-hmm.
Matilda. That's right. Matilda. Keep going. Topper. So I'm telling my mama, telling my mama all this, and she says Topper because she was just as excited about it as I was. Loretta, that's right, Loretta. Don't forget her. I think that it would be cool. Now that person wants a mirror.
That's all the mirror. So what's funny how guys think. It is totally different. Totally different the way guys think. So I showed it to Ryan.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I showed it to Ryan. And right off the bat, me and Ryan have not had any conversation about this thing.
Peaches, don't forget Peaches. Keep going.
And so Ryan said the exact same thing I said.
What?
Peaches for president pins.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just funny how guys think. So that's exactly, we just thought it was funny. Me and Ryan thought it was absolutely funny. Peaches for president pin. And,
I have stuff to make pins. I have the stuff to make pins. So I could, I could start with Peaches for president. And when those are gone, then we can make something else. Don't forget Holly. Yeah.
You could do a badge with Nugget in the middle of it.
I mean,
the share.
Somebody said, what about coasters? Yes, you can make coasters with it. Yes. Y'all, I don't know if this is going to happen, but it is my end goal because I think it is so neat.
It is neat. But all I can see is Brooke in there telling me she's got 400 of these things to make, and she's in there pulling. There's 20, 21, 22.
Well, I don't want it to end up like that. I want to do it on my own time. And I want to do it when I'm like yesterday. I was stuck in the house.
Today's going to be just as bad.
No, it's not. There's no rain today.
There's no rain today, but the wind's blowing 25 miles an hour and it's 30 degrees outside.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the parts to start today.
Well, I'm just saying, you're not going to be outside all day today. I can tell you.
So, and Jason thought that kids might like the pins. I should have brought the pin back thing. Thought that, that they might like to pin it on. I don't know if kids still like that kind of stuff or not, but there's all different sizes. It goes from, you can start at 1 inch and it goes all the way to 3.5.
Right.
And I can make earrings. It's just unbelievable. I got invested in it last night. And I didn't go and visit my mama till 8:00. And she said, Brooke, I had given up on you coming to visit today. And I said, Mama, I've been sitting in front of a computer trying to figure out this button maker thing, trying to figure out what all I need to order.
That's
Small
funny.
pins for hats. Yes.
Yep.
that's a possibility too, because that's what Mary Carl wants. So I've got her stuff in the cart for her to make what she wants, because that's the number one thing. That's why we
Number one
bought
thing.
it.
Yep.
Is for her to do her thing.
Right.
And then, and I think it may be less expensive if I go to our printer here that we've talked to about making our books and get them to print out my pictures rather than me trying to buy a printer, refill the
That's a
ink.
good idea.
Because they will do it.
That's a
It'll
good
be
idea.
fairly inexpensive
That's
for
a
me to
good
pay
idea.
them to do it versus, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the quality would be better.
Yeah, because we kind of looked at printers and goodness gracious.
Well, you can go as the sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
So magnet sets. Okay. I'm
looking into that.
No, there's no looking into it. I got it all figured. It's all in my cart. I just got to figure out the quantities.
You can even do fabric. It's cool.
Oh, I don't want to do fabric though. That's what the lady that had it before me, that's what she had it for, was to do fabric.
Right.
And in the fabric, you don't put the clear on the top of it. The fabric is exposed. Caden could help me, but Caden's back in school, but he could do it on the weekend.
Sure
Caden,
could.
I'm bringing you the machine. I need 250 Moody buttons by the end of the day, son.
Oh, goodness. That's funny.
But I'm excited. I just never imagined that that's how those shiny pens were made.
That's funny.
Did you?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I thought that, well, I'm sure that some come down the,
Yeah, but
shining
I
for you,
mean,
but-
how much better is it that somebody's actually doing the physical labor?
Exactly.
And it's American made machine.
Yeah.
And if y'all want to look at it for yourself, it's American button maker. But I'd have to pump out the volume if I was going to buy one
brand new. Yeah.
They are expensive.
They are expensive.
But there's nothing that's going to go wrong with it. There's no parts. It's all metal.
Yeah.
It's just a big old hunk of metal. When am I going to start? I got to get my materials in first. And then I got to talk to the printer people and see, what the cost is for them to print it versus me buying a printer. But that is a plan, and I'm excited.
They
I
probably
really
get
am.
so many on one sheet.
That's
too.
what I'm thinking. And see, it came with a circle cutter.
Right.
Is what it's called. And of course, if you were doing a whole bunch of them, this would not be efficient time-wise. But I could get my mama to cut out the circles while I press.
Yeah.
We could get it. We could really get to. I wonder if you could do a dried flower.
That's what somebody said. Press flowers.
I saw it. You could do a pressed flower. Yes.
I don't know.
It could be freeze dried first.
You could do peacock feathers.
Yes.
That'd be a lot of peacock feathers.
It would, but if you cut them up into little pieces.
Oh, goodness.
And
man.
then I could only do the 1-inch. Chicken feathers even. Our chickens molt.
That's true.
The possibilities are endless. I just got to get my head screwed on right so I can figure out what I don't want to get all these materials in at one time. I need to focus on one thing at a time.
Definitely, because you'll get overwhelmed.
If I ordered an earring kit, a magnet kit, a pen kit, I need to focus on one thing. And see how they go.
Yeah.
And here's another thing is it's going to be a limited quantity. Say I make 100 of them and we put them on the website. I don't want to make anybody mad because I didn't get one. And then I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel like,
Yeah. We just have to see. Zoe knows how to do it.
What does Zoe know how to do?
I don't know. It's just what Nick said. Okay. Zoe knows how to do it.
Huh.
Got to see what he means. Maybe he'll send me a text afterwards.
Yep. We will have to see. But I am excited. I just think it's going to be fun.
It'll be fun.
I used to have a Cricut machine and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't do it. I ended up selling it in my booth at the flea market.
Oh,
I bought it used. Oh, that person, Tammy has an American button maker. Tammy, do you like it? Do you use it? It is Tammy. It's not Tommy, is it?
It's Tammy.
Okay.
Somebody said you could do pre-orders.
I could do pre-orders. Oh goodness.
What
if I had 500 pre-orders?
What?
I'd be burning the midnight oil trying to get it. Jason, I got 492 more. And my arms would be the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'd be
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Mhm. I just if y'all can't tell, I'm excited. I just think it's gonna be fun.
Oh me, that's phew.
And then if it goes well, I can start making them for Catherine.
Oh goodness.
I may just let Catherine borrow the machine.
Oh goodness. Mm.
I just never knew that there were so many possibilities. Never knew it.
Somebody said that their daughter does it on Etsy and she does pre-orders and then shuts it down. Once she gets to a number, I guess she sets it down.
Yeah.
Tammy does not use it.
Oh, Tammy, I could have bought it from you. I don't know where you are, but I'm always up for a road trip. I wouldn't have
Oh
went
goodness.
to Louisiana. I could have went to New York. I don't know where Tammy is.
Who knows? Who knows?
Tammy, somebody on here might want to buy it from you.
That's true.
So if anybody's interested and Tammy wants to sell it,
Mm-hmm.
we know Tammy's real. There are bots that post this stuff on on Marketplace.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, put Caden to work.
Oh man.
I want to do it. I just don't want to get tired of it. I
Yep.
don't want to get burned out.
That's true.
I don't want to make just Moody and quit.
Right.
I want to continue on.
A footprint.
That would be cool.
Mhm.
So Nugget's foot is bigger than 3.5 inches.
Yeah, it'd have to be way smaller. Almost all of our animals. I don't know. Maybe Peach's footprint could fit on one, and the cat's.
Yeah, that's true.
Not many more could.
Tammy wants to. I mean, what does that say? Fire maters
Fire Metorks. Fire Metorks.
wants to know if Tammy wants to sell it. Where is Tammy?
My apartment's cut out. I don't even know where it is right.
Uh-oh. That sounds like me, Tammy.
Yep.
That sounds like me.
I've seen a lot of people ask about the calendars, January the 13th, or when the calendars, or is that right? The 13th or 14th is when the calendars are supposed to be ready.
14th, that's right.
Okay. 14th, and we are having big changes to the store.
And we will have a calendar in our hand to show on the live on the 14th.
Right.
That is.
Here to win? I'm telling you.
That's not the wind, that's the heat.
That was the win.
I was hoping it was the heat.
It's rough out there.
Oh no.
I can hear the chimes.
You know, I went and fed and I didn't feel like it was that much wind.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should have a calendar in hand to show on the live Tuesday. Lots of new changes coming. Should have some new things to show as well as the calendars. And that'll be an interesting live on Tuesday.
Yep. So, absolutely. If some of you guys missed it, I was on the Texas Gardening Guys podcast on Wednesday night, and it was a ton of fun. It was, of course, Tracy from Just Dig It was on there, Greg from House Tools, Phil's Figs, and Dez, Gardening with Dez, and of course, Destin. The replay's up, and you can go over there and watch it. It was very fun. We had a great time, lots of laughing, but it was slap full of gardening information on there.
So Catherine asked me Wednesday if I was going to be on the podcast that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no. I said, I don't know anything about gardening. And she said, well, I always ask you questions and you answer it. Well, that's because I asked you. It just seems like I know the answers. I don't know the answers.
Oh, man.
So just know, Catherine, if I answer you, it's because I've asked Jason, or it's because I've helped him.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But it was fun. There's a lot of information in there. And I also wanted that made me think about it is that Greg at House announced it on the podcast. If you haven't seen this yet, they have a subscription service now. And if you are a beginner gardener, if you are I call it a lazy gardener, or if you're a gardener that feels like, oh, I forget, I didn't have time, I forgot, they have a subscription service that's all year, and they will send you according to the zone you're in, and they're only doing
7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Yep. According to what zone you're in, 7, 8, or 9, they will send you each month everything you need for that month for your gardening, including seeds, fertilizers, all of it. And there's different levels to it. So I think it was pretty awesome.
And
I
I think
may
he
even
said that
subscribe to it myself.
if I'm not mistaken, I think he said they plan to expand to other zones if it works out.
Yes, that's what he plans on doing.
So it's kind of a test for, the zones that we're in right now.
Correct. So if you're someone that gets confused or is a new gardener and kind of don't know what to do, this is pretty awesome.
So how can they go about getting that?
You can go to their website and check it out there. We do have a link, but it's so new that I didn't even put the link on the website yet. But
in the future, you will.
In the future, I will. And of course, if you use our link, we get a small commission. But I'm so excited about this for people that are always worried about, or new gardeners that, I just want to get it out there, really.
You want to help people.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That person already said, I'm subscribing.
Yep.
So yeah, it will be good for people that just don't know what to do, or they forget.
Or
they don't plan ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Like us.
Yep.
Sometimes we forget to.
It's a pretty cool thing, though. Pretty cool thing.
We forget to plan ahead. Let's see. I had some things written down.
Did you?
So Mary Carl had an orthodontist appointment, and while we were in Montgomery, there was also a bird that had been showing up on eBird time and time again that is not supposed to be here, and that is a Bullock's Oriole, Bullocks. There was one in Mobile, but that is much more likely to be there than it is in Montgomery, Alabama.
Right.
So this bird's been there for like 2 months, and we just hadn't had the opportunity to go over there. Mary Carl had in her mind it was in somebody's yard, and Mama, we're not just going to go over there and walk in somebody's yard. But these people keep reporting it
every day almost.
Over. And I'm like, Mary Carl, look, whoever it is doesn't mind people coming because multiple people have seen it. So while we're in Montgomery, let's just go over there and ride by and see if we see it. I don't even know where it is. It's coordinates.
Right,
it's not an address. So we put the coordinates in and we get over there, and sure enough, it's in the middle of a neighborhood in Montgomery. And a neighborhood. I'm talking about house after house after house. We couldn't figure out exactly what house it had been spotted at, because we never saw some of the things that were in the picture, such as a green bird bath and a hummingbird feeder. We never saw any of that, but we saw lots of people had feeders. So here we are driving through this neighborhood, holding the call out the window, and there's cars going by us, and they're looking like, oh, goodness. And I'm driving Jason's truck, mind you, because I had to get some feed on the way home.
Yeah.
And we never saw the Bullock's Oriole. But the next day, it was back on eBird. So, it's just kind of a luck of the draw whether you get to see a bird like that or not. But then I said, is there anything else you want to do before we go home? Yes, I want to go to the pet store and see if I can't get a big platform for Fina, because we had bought one at, oh goodness, what's it called? What's that bird store in Tampa we went to?
Just Bird or something like that.
Everything Birds.
Everything Birds.
And we wanted to see if the pet store had one, because hers had gotten past its prime. So we go to the pet store, and it's one of those pet stores that's got all the dogs for sale. And I don't like that, but there was this one that caught my eye, and she was a little Yorkie, and she looked at me and she wanted me to get her. She had a little blanket she was sucking on, and Gidget did that. Still does that. Gidget still does that. And so the lady said, do you want to see one of them? And no, I don't want to see one of them. And I really did. And so I stood there and looked at her, and we pawed through the cage or whatever, and she brought her to me, and I held her and loved on her. And I feel like, while I don't like the fact that they're selling the dogs and they're in the cages, they need to be loved. And if I had the opportunity to do that and help this dog, I was going to do it. So I did. Well, I gave the little dog back, and I said, I'm not looking at any of the rest of them. But I told the girl that I had 2 Pomeranians at home, and she said, "Oh, we have a Pom." And I was like, "Do you?" And they said, "Yeah, buttons down. I mean,
Bubbles.
bubbles down here." So she takes me down there, and Bubbles is full of it. Bubbles is jumping up and down, literally, in the area. And she said, "Do you want to play with Bubbles?" And I said, "I might as well, because I've already played with one that, you know." So I get Bubbles, y'all, and we go in the little thing where the dogs are. And let me tell you something. That dog was so full of it. I got a video of her, but I'm not going to show it. She was growling. She had I had a scarf on, and she was grabbing my scarf, trying to pull my scarf off. And the last thing I said to Bubbles is, "You better tone yourself down a little bit, or nobody's ever going to take you." Nobody's ever going to take you. And
Oh
I
goodness.
sent the picture to Jason. I wasn't asking if I could buy her, because I don't want to support that kind of thing. But Jason said, "Just ask him if she barks."
Oh, I was being funny, but
I
yeah.
know. I know. So we leave there. We didn't find the perch. And across the street is a birding store. It's called Wild Birds Unlimited. I
Yep.
don't know if this is a nationwide thing or not,
I don't know either.
but we had been in there many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And probably never ever bought anything, because it's just feeding birds, and we haven't ever been that invested in feeding birds.
Right.
Feeding our chickens and feeding our birds, but not wild birds. And y'all, let me tell you, the lady that worked there was so full of information. She was the best associate that could have ever that owner could have ever asked for. She was very knowledgeable. We have a pole system that you had bought that was
had
Braun.
Yep. This is very popular amongst birders. That brand.
And so they had a pole system in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually less expensive than the one Jason had bought. And I felt like it was as good a quality.
It seems to be as good. Matter of fact, there's the stabilizer at the bottom of it I like, because the Braum didn't have that.
And so you feel like your pole's doing like this.
Feel like it's a little more stable. Yeah.
And so the lady said that she had a 20% off coupon that she would allow me to use if I decided to buy it. And she wasn't a salesman. She was just letting me know that. And so Jason had already talked about getting another pole system, because we enjoy feeding them so much. So I told Jason, I said, "Do you want me to get another one? Because obviously I'm saving on shipping." So I did. We bought another pole system, and I was talking to him on the phone, trying to figure out what all we needed. And we got it set up. And let me tell y'all, it wasn't 30 minutes after we got it set up that the birds found it.
Yeah, they found it quick.
They found it quick. So much so that we had crows yesterday morning at the bottom of the feeder, which some people don't like crows, but we like crows. And it's kind of hard to get crows to come into your backyard.
Right.
Well, I mean, we're on land, we're not in the city, but still, some people try to get crows and they can't. So I think the peanuts are what attracted them.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Mary Carl we need to put some shiny stuff out there for them. They like to collect things and, take them and put them in their nest.
Right.
And it's a whole big thing with crows and gathering and collecting. And it was fun to see that we had a different type of bird out there yesterday.
Yeah, it was fun to see. And it is a chain. There, people are saying
it's independently owned, though.
Yes, that's what somebody said. They are chains, but they are independently owned.
I asked the lady, I said, "Look, if your owner was here, I would tell him how lucky he is to have somebody so knowledgeable such as you." And I asked her if they were independently owned, and she said yes. And that made me feel good to know that I was, purchasing that from a store that was independently owned. I often wondered how those stores stayed in business.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason said the same thing. But while I was in there, y'all, there were probably 6 people that came in and bought stuff. And, they knew what they wanted.
Right.
Unlike me,
right.
I went in not knowing what I wanted. There was something cool that I think you would like. It's a it's a feeder and it has a cover on it like this, and then it's got kind of grooves in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they make this stuff called bird butter,
Mm-hmm.
and you put it on there,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bird will. This was for finches and such, but
Right.
they will grab onto it with their feet and eat that
Oh.
kind of like suet, but
Yeah.
it's a wipeable
Interesting.
kind of soft, But if y'all have one of those stores and you're interested in feeding the birds, they tend to know what they're talking about.
A birding pole is just it's a pole that goes in the ground, and it's got where you can hang your. That's what we call it. I don't know what it's called. Bird feeder pole, I guess you call it.
Yeah, that's what I got a video of.
And you can hang your bird feeders on it.
So this is our pole. I don't know if it's going to show up very good, but you can see the old barn back behind there. And that's just a short video that I took because I was amazed how many birds found it so quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
when I first put it out there, it took the first one. It took probably, I want to say 2 weeks for us to get birds to finally find it and not be scared.
Well, I think those birds from the original area is coming to that one.
Yeah, I think
Wild
so too.
Birds Unlimited.
Yep. Yep. And it's different than the shepherd's hook because this has 4, and you can add different things on it.
I thought I had a picture of it.
Or maybe they did call it a shepherd's hook.
It was called a birding pole.
Is that what it's called?
At that store.
I got you.
And the coolest thing about this birding pole was they had all kind of ways that you could upgrade it. You didn't have to buy it all at one time. And that's why I bought it, because they had just for example, they had this one thing that you could put on there and you could add a branch.
A real branch in it.
And it had like a screw that you could tighten it and put a real branch on it for a perch. Obviously, you wouldn't hang a feeder on it because the branch would break. But that was something that interested me, Carl, because pictures taken on bird feeders don't turn out real pretty.
Right.
But if she had that branch on there and a bird landed on it, then, the picture would turn out a lot better.
Right.
And lo and behold, I had that up at the counter to go with our pole, and somehow I didn't end up bringing it home. I looked at my receipt and I didn't pay for it either. So next trip, we're going to get that, because that was one of the reasons for purchasing that particular pole.
Right. And they do have squirrel baffles. I saw somebody ask about squirrels that you can add to it. We don't have squirrel issues here, knock on wood.
I took a picture of the actual pole in the store. Let's see. And you can see right here at the bottom, the squirrel baffle. We don't have squirrels, but that's the squirrel baffle that is offered to go with that pole system. And the pole comes with 2 hangers off of it, but everything else is an add-on. So therefore,
it's pretty cool.
The sky's the limit.
Somebody said they had the branch sleeve and they're great. The birds love it.
And you can do 1 branch, or you can do 3 branches.
Yeah.
The one we were going to get was one branch, because it was less expensive. But you can add on. So
it's pretty cool.
It's very well made.
Yeah, it seems to be very well made.
It's very well made.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
Yes.
They're everywhere. I'm seeing people have them everywhere.
They are worthy of a shout out, especially the one in Montgomery. They have that exact pole and it doesn't work. Oh, the squirrel baffle.
Oh.
I don't know about the squirrel baffle. The lady had the squirrel baffle and she had a squirrel problem. She put the baffle on, no squirrels.
Yep.
So it worked for her, and they are different sizes.
Yeah.
There's a small baffle, there's a medium baffle, and a big baffle. And I guess it depends on.
Several people say put a slinky on the pole in order to keep the squirrels away.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know exactly where you put the slinky, but
well, y'all,
that was interesting.
I rub Vaseline at the bottom of the pole to keep the ants off.
Because we put a jelly feeder on there.
We put a jelly feeder
trying to attract the Orioles.
But did you hear her say that the I don't want to say pine warblers.
There's been a bunch of pine warblers out there.
Something was eating the jelly that says they won't eat the jelly.
I didn't hear that.
Mary Carl told me. She said something is eating the jelly that's not supposed to eat the jelly.
And the Vaseline may keep the squirrels off. I don't know.
It may.
Yep. The deer steal the bird seed. Now I don't know how you'd stop that one.
I don't either.
Oh man.
I don't either. Pine warblers eat the jelly.
Huh.
And if you Google it, it says they won't. But
Ours do.
we have found them eating the jelly.
Interesting.
Now they sell bird feed at that store,
Mhm.
and that's totally if it's in your budget.
Yeah.
You know, we got a bag of bird feed free
Mhm.
because we bought the pole, but I'm not necessarily saying we would go there and buy all our bird feed. Of course, it was good quality.
Yeah, the thing about bird feed is that you usually get what you pay for with bird feed, because a lot of your cheaper bird feeds put a ton of fillers in there and the birds don't even eat it. So I would say 80% of the just your regular cheap wild bird feed has filler in it, which is basically, I don't think the birds like the white Milo, which is really common in there. If I'm not mistaken, that's the main one that
The white Milo or
they-
white millet?
maybe it's millet. There's a couple of seeds in there that are, I guess, cheap and easy for them to produce, and they shove it in the cheap bird feed, and the birds don't eat it. They just kick it out.
We normally buy our feed at Tractor Supply, and we do buy
Most of the time,
variety of different feeds.
but most of the time we just buy black oil sunflower seeds because they won't waste any of it. They'll eat every bit of it.
Well, and it depends on the type of bird you're feeding too.
Mhm. But it's typically, if you buy they'll usually say on there no waste feed. It is going to be more, but they're not going to waste any of it. So to me, you're paying the same price pretty much, because you're going to go through. I even did an experiment not too long ago, and I put the cheap feed in a feeder and black oil sunflower seeds in the feeder, and they ate all the black oil sunflower seeds. The cheap feeder was still full, except at the bottom they had picked through
Oh goodness!
all the stuff they wanted and left the little stuff they didn't want. So it was still there. And it, if it rains or whatever, it'll start mildewing and clunking up in there and all that kind of good stuff.
So for Christmas, me and Carl got the feeder that has the camera on it, and will record, and it tells you every time a bird visits. And we have had over 1,000 house finches visit since the feeder got put up. 1,000. I mean, that we didn't put it up on Christmas Day either. It was a few days later.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a lot of birds that come and go. And another thing that I thought when we bought this second pole system is, most men have hobbies such as fishing or hunting or something like that, and that's expensive, right? Those things are expensive.
Yeah.
Jason enjoys feeding the birds and watching the birds, and that's a lot less expensive than deer hunting or fishing. So let him have his bird feeding, and we enjoy it too. I don't know that we would enjoy you going to hunt at the break of dawn and not coming back.
Being gone all weekend.
Yeah. So
I do enjoy the bird feeders,
and it's something we all enjoy. So it's a good hobby.
It's fun. It's really fun.
So, can you believe an hour's gone by?
I know
it. It went by fast.
It went by fast. So I saw something pop up on my, I forget what it's called, but on my feed, and this was for yesterday. They haven't done today because it's so early in the morning, but yesterday, 2 things debuted on the same day in 1983 on January the 10th.
What?
Fraggle Rock.
Oh, I love Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock made its debut, and John Anderson's song "Swingin'," which I loved as a kid. I had the little record that went on my little bitty record player. I had it, the single "Swingin'," and it had 2 versions. It had one version on one side, and you flipped it over and had a different version on the other side.
Interesting. Speaking of that,
42 years ago that was. Wow. Yeah.
Speaking of that, we did make one stop on the way home, and that was a thrift store we'd never been in Prattville. And me and Carl wanted to look for tapes. And she really wants to find some that are blank that somebody's recorded on. That's her goal. Because it's like a mystery. You don't know what you're going to hear, you know?
Yeah.
So she found a tape, and y'all guess what it was? Owls and crows. And so she couldn't wait to get it home because obviously we didn't have a tape player in the truck. Get it home and play it. And it is continuous owls making noises and continuous crows making noises. She was very proud of her 25-cent purchase.
She was. She sent me a picture of it before she got home.
She couldn't wait to put it in that tape player to see what it sounded like. 25-cent tape of crows and owls. And it was perfect.
Well,
are you finished with your coffee?
I'm gone. Yep.
You're gone. I'm not gone. This is actually my second coffee. I've got it right there. I don't ever drink 2 coffees, but today was a 2 coffee day.
It's because it's cold outside.
Can you tell me why you like the crows? They're
just beautiful birds.
They're beautiful. Yeah, read about them. Google crows. Crows can am I right in saying crows can be?
They're extremely smart. Somebody say they're smarter than some people.
They are. Crows are just amazing birds. I can't tell you all the things. You're just going to have to Google it.
Yep.
But some people don't like them, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yep. Just like some people don't like blue jays and mockingbirds.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. All right. So we'll be back here Tuesday. Don't miss it. Lots of new stuff coming your way, and we will share all of that with you at 4:00 on Tuesday.
Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay warm, and y'all be good.